I'd like to introduce Monty Harper. Monty, he lives in Stillwater, Oklahoma, and he is a professional children's, and I would say also adults, songwriter. He's also a recording artist and a performer. And in his spare time, he teaches mathematics, but he seems to be more passionate about the first occupation. So Monty, we're hoping that you're gonna sing for us.
Okay, can you hear me?
We can hear you and you look great.
Oh, hey, thank you. All right, well, I had prepared some slides and they're really boring and purple, so I'll show that. I was planning to talk about an aspect of songwriting called prosody, and something that a lot of beginning songwriters aren't really aware of, and I think it helps a lot to be aware of. And I'm just looking at my screen trying to figure out how to share my slideshow. Do I click share screen? Ah, okay.
We have been having a little bit of difficulty. We can't see your screen yet. Oh, wait. Yep. Can you see it?
Yep.
Okay. It looks great.
That's awesome. All right. Well, I'm on the review thing. Let me. Okay. We'll get the whole slideshow in reverse just to get it started. All right. So I'm going to talk through this. It'll take me maybe 8 to 10 minutes, and then we'll have the rest of the time to play. And so I'm hoping this will be really interactive. And let me see if I can get my get to where I can see the chat. Can I see the chat? How do I do that?
If you're interested, I can field the questions for you.
All right, no, I've got my chat window open.
You got it? Okay.
Yeah. So you guys, while I'm talking, interrupt me in the chat and I'll respond to what you're saying there. Hopefully. All right. So a song has three main ingredients. Most people think of two. One, the words or the lyrics, and two, the melody or the tune. But neither of those is working alone. They're working together. So if you just wrote words, you'd have poetry. If you just wrote melody, you'd have a sonata or something like that. But since you're writing a song, you got the words and the melody. And this is where the magic happens that makes the song greater than the sum of its parts. And we call it prosody. So prosody is how the words and the melody work together. One thing to note about prosody is that it's always present in a song. You can't get away from it. Even if you're not aware that you're using prosody, you are. And so it can either work to your advantage or it could work against you in what you're trying to accomplish with the song. So it's good to be aware of that and use it to your advantage. So prosody works on every level in the song, from individual words and syllables up to clauses and phrases and sentences and ideas and concepts and themes and tone and mood and style. Number 4, tone, mood, and style, that's present throughout the song. So it works on every level, from a single syllable up to the entire song. We can look at it, we can slice it in all those directions. So just to try a fun little exercise here, somebody post in the chat, post the name of a song that we probably all know. Oh, what a night. All right. Na, 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 na. I'm trying to think if I know the melody well enough to use it. I might could use that. I might could use one that's I'm a little more familiar with. Prosody is such a lonely word. Let it be. Let it be is good. I know I can do let it be. All right. So I'm gonna, if I can find my, dang it. Where is my cursor? I'm trying to, I went the wrong way. All right, stop. So I was gonna try to get my my face back on the screen, but oh well, never mind. I have a book here for kids. It's called Genetic Engineering. And so I'm gonna open it to a random page and I'm gonna sing about genetic engineering to the tune of Let It Be. Forensic scientists in general use their skills to help solve crimes or otherwise settle legal issues, within the field. DNA analysis specialize in collecting DNA evidence from victims and suspects. Okay, so how many of you know what I'm singing about? I'll make it stop. To me, like when I hear that, actually it fit pretty well for a while, but then when I got to the let it be part, I can't even follow the words. So that's a good way to come up with a really good example of bad prosody. And what does GTC mean? I don't know. Where did that come in? Let's go to the next page here. So there's a good example of how like if you just have singing random words to a random melody, they don't fit. All right. So poor use of prosody can cause the following symptoms: distractions in the music. So the listeners like, what was that? Distracting. Cringeworthy moments where you're like, make it stop, like Greg just said. Lack of clarity, confusion over pronunciation or meaning, and listener disengagement. So usually when prosody shows up at all to the listener, it's a bad thing. So you want your prosody to be transparent. But if it does show up to the listener, often the listener doesn't know what prosody means, so that their experience is, oh, that song was awkward, or that song was hard to sing, or I couldn't understand the words right in that spot, or I lost interest in the song, or that song just isn't for me. So a lot of those kind of negative comments about a song might actually be a response to poor prosody. All right, so yeah, I did that. Sorry, I'm flipping back and forth because I have no control. All right, we just did that. So what's going on? Poor use of prosody. Okay, prosody check. So how can you know that your prosody is good? So we're gonna check that the words are pronounced correctly. And we'll go through these one at a time in more detail. That musical phrases complete thoughts. That the right words are emphasized musically, melody and rhythm match the tone of the lyric, and melody emphasizes or enhances meaning. This last one is kind of bonus points. All right, so pronunciation. So here's what not to do. So listen to this. When I climb a tree, it makes me happy. So anybody notice the problem with that? Sometimes you don't want the tone to match if you're making an ironic point. That's true. So my point in all of this is that if you're aware of how prosody is working, then you'll use it the way for the effect that you want. So if you want to sing something very sad to a bouncy tune, and you're aware that that's what you're doing and you're doing it for effect, then great. Let's see. I also missed up here. So prosody is more obvious with parodies than originals. I think with parodies, it's more difficult, at least for me. So Weird Al is the master of parodies, and I have seen Weird Al lyrics that have better prosody than the original, which is amazing. But when you are matching words to an existing melody, it's kind of hard because the melody can't change. So you have to make those words fit. But when you're writing an original melody, you can take any words at all and write a melody to fit those words. So to me, that is easier. But in either case, prosody is there and prosody is working for or against you. All right. Let's see. So anyway, when I climb a tree, it makes me happy. Nobody says happy, right? When you're talking, it makes me happy to sing this song this way. So, and in a really, in a worst case scenario there, the listener won't even understand what word you're trying to say. So you want to make sure your syllables match up with the emphasis in the music, and you're pronouncing all the words right. Musical phrases should match complete thoughts. So here's an example what not to do to the tune of Eleanor Rigby. I'll try to get this right. Opposite charges attract when two charges the same are the sort to repel. Doesn't that smell? Okay. So opposite charges attract. So you're going to miss that word attract. The idea you're trying to get across is opposite charges attract. But you put that big gap in there and then say attract really fast, and that idea gets buried. Meanwhile, two charges the same are the sort to repel. You're giving a lot of weight to that. So the listener is likely to miss the point that you're trying to make. You want a musical phrase, da 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 da, and then there's a pause. You want that to contain a single idea, like Eleanor Rigby. It's a person's name. It's right there. Yeah, use a song. If you're doing parodies, use a song that's already sort of set up to deliver a similar idea to what you're trying to sing about, and your prosody will be helped along that way. Very cool. All right, so emphasize the right words. So there are different ways to emphasize a word in a song musically. You can accent that note, sing it on a higher pitch, hold it out longer, put a big pause after it. That gives you a big emphasis. So here's some examples to play with, and you can play with these in your head. So let's look at the second one. I want the red balloon. I could sing that in a way that emphasizes any one of the words in that sentence, and it kind of changes the idea. So if I say, I want the red balloon, this is about me because I went I. But if I'm like, I want the red balloon, I put red at the top, and that means it better be the red one, not the yellow one. Or if I'm like, I want the red balloon, then I really am into balloons, right? So what's the more important thing? Can I sing the Dino song if there's time? Maybe. I injured my arm yesterday, so I'm not able to accompany myself on the guitar, but I could maybe sing it a cappella. All right. So, and then the other lyric there, that's one of my people once thought the sun turned round the earth. So people, sun, and earth are emphasized. If I had sung, people once thought the sun turned round the earth, you'd be like, what is he talking about? Once? Because I put the emphasis in the wrong place, and it makes the other words not come out clearly in terms of the message or the meaning. All right. And then for a whole song approach here, melody matches mood. So this is just fun to play with, and somebody up above already mentioned that you could have the mood not match, the melody not match the mood of the song for a fun effect. But I like to do this with students, is just pick a sentence off of a shirt or a poster and then try to sing it in a way that makes it sound angry, and then try to sing it in a way that makes it sound sad, and a way that makes it sound happy. And you can see how the music, the melody itself adds a layer of meaning to that sentence. And you could play with whether that meaning matches the meaning of the sentence or works against it somehow. Both effects are good effects depending on what you're trying to do. And you could go the other way around and find a song that you know and find the hook, and then how would you characterize that emotion, and then put different words to the hook to see if the different words match the emotion or contradict it. I'm trying to get through here. Let's see. So this last one is kind of bonus points. Melody enhances meaning. So you can do lots of cool prosody tricks, like if you have words in your song like up and down, fast and slow, loud and soft, you can reflect those ideas using the melody. So if you're going, if the temperature is getting hotter, then you might want your melody to go higher. So the temperature is rising, rather than the temperature is rising. You know, that wouldn't make musical sense along with the words. And my screen just went blank on me, and now it's coming back. Okay, good. So let your melody reflect verbs such as run, walk, gallop, fly, climb, fall. If you're flying in your melody, then that's going to be a different, if your words are say fly, that's going to be a different melody than if your words say crawl, right? So let your melody reflect that. Oh, thank you, Marilyn. um, so use parallel or opposing melody lines for parallel or opposing ideas. So if you, so we were talking about opposite poles attract, same poles repel. You could get those two ideas in with two parallel or two opposing melody lines. So north and south attract, do, 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 and south repel. You know, so you've got a similar line in rhythm, but the melody goes up in one, down in the other, and it's reflecting that those two opposing ideas. All right, manipulate timing for comedic effect. So you set up like an expected rhyme and then pause at that moment and then say a different word just to get a good laugh. So that's one way you can use prosody to just to really keep your audience engaged. All right. Keep your ears open for all kinds of possibilities. So I talk about prosody a lot, and I study and I think about it a lot, and I often find new little gems in a song where the prosody does something that I'm surprised by. So always keep your prosody antenna out. All right, so here's the review of the main things you can check, and I'm going to stop now. I have no idea how much time I have left, but maybe you can tell me, Tiffany.
You have about 4 minutes. We have a question, but I also have a request from my niece and nephew, and one is the dinosaur song. Those questions, the something something saurus song.
Acrocanthosaurus?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, I maybe could do a little bit of that. Were there any questions about prosody? Or I thought we might play like give me some hard words and we'll try.
Question. Well, Ava has a pretty good statement. It says that she has a box of gin in front of her. It says copper stilled in small batches, which is a very nice phrase to her. And I think she wants to know if you can use it in a song. And Larry wants to know if you can share a specific example of manipulating timing for a comedic effect.
Okay. Well, okay, Larry. So I have a song about called "Love This Baby," where I set up expected rhymes. Let's see. I can't think of the words. I should have had that queued up. And guys, give me a second, because my arm is in a sling right now because I injured it yesterday. So I'm going to take it out so I can see if I can strum the guitar or not. But it's every time I set up an expected rhyme with something gross like poop or puke, and then instead of saying that, I say love, love, love. I pause and go love, 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 love this baby. And so it gets a laugh every time. Let me see. How do I get out? Now I shared my screen and now I'm trying to get out of that so I can share my camera instead.
If you go, I think up to the top, there should be like an end share screen up at the top of the screen. Okay, you look different. There you are. We see ya.
Okay. I didn't do that, but somehow it got done. All right. Cool. You see me waving and lifting my gimpy arm. And all right. Let's see. So Acrocanthosaurus buried underneath the ground. 120 million years you waited to be found. Your bones reveal the tale of claws that will impale and jaws that would avail a predatory carnivore. Still you keep your secrets, my Oklahoma dinosaur. So that's Acrocanthosaurus, a little bit of that. And I have to say, I because we're talking about prosody, I built that entire song around the word acrocanthosaurus, because I was like, how am I going to put that in a song? And so in order to give it room with the melody, acrocanthosaurus, I played with all kinds of ways to sing it, and I picked a way that I liked. And then I built the verses around that, and then I built the song around the verses. So the entire song is just built around that one word, prosody wise. Anyhow,
That was awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, and what was, don't hurt yourself for your art. I hurt myself jogging is how I hurt myself. And so the comments have have scrolled off the bottom of my page, and so I was looking for the other one that I didn't talk about yet.
Oh, I know what it was. It was Larry's question about a way to throw comedy in there with different timing.
Oh, yeah, that was the one where, like, if you set up a rhyme, I wrote this song like one of the very first songs I ever wrote. It was a parody. It was meant to make fun of country music, and it was this is probably not appropriate for kids, but I'm gonna drink your beer and then I'll drive my truck so I can pick up my woman and we can go out and drink beer. So put that little pause in there, and then I got to laugh. So
I think that definitely answered Larry's question. That was great.
Yeah. So,
he says, yep. So.
All right. No, then the other one was copper stilled in small batches. Copper stilled in small batches.
Something related to gin.
Yeah, gin. So if anyone wants a sentence to play with, okay, this is a nice phrase. Yeah, I would like play with it. Copper stilled in small batches. To me, it sounds so peaceful somehow. Copper stilled in small batches. Oh, I see. So, so there's a good example. So it's copper stilled, right? In small batches. So it's kind of two ideas. It's copper stilled in small batches, as opposed to copper stilled in small batches. That wouldn't mean the same thing. Kind of like I was thinking stilled as a verb, like copper did a thing. Copper stilled, what? It doesn't make sense, but it's stilled in copper, so it's copper stilled. So that's an adjective. So I would put copper stilled. I would put a little pause there. Copper stilled in small batches. That's the kind of gin for me. Copper stilled in small batches. Da 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 da. Yay! So that's just a little sort of how I would approach writing a song with a particular phrase and thinking about prosody. All right. I ran out of things to say.
And you ran out of time, so that's perfect.
Oh, good time. All right.
Good convergence of your lyrics and the time.